What has a partner done during sex that totally ruined it for you? Some years ago, my wife, in the middle of it all, out of nowhere, asked if I had moved the clothes from the washing machine to the dryer. Okay, that's funny. I must have, 'cause I'm cleaning out your lint trap now, baby. Then fart to show dominance. Back in college, we used to have a playlist that we listened to during sex. One time, he added songs in accidentally and we ended up listening to a techno version of the World 1 music to Super Mario Bros. And laughing too much to continue. Electronica versions of the songs from Mega Man came on after, killing the mood even more. All in all, it was still a fun day and we're married now so it didn't kill sex forever, lol. Oh my god. Reminds me of the time I was fooling around with a guy the first was dating, put on music, and forgot that I Just Can't Wait to Be King was in my general music playlist OMG. XGF would talk dirty during sex. Which is fine, but her dirty talk would get really detailed and outlandish and she'd ramble on and on. One time during one of her Speaking in Tongues episodes she imagined we were in a fancy restaurant and I was eating her out under the table and she was describing how the food was tasting, the appetizers, the main course, the dessert, the wine in great, agonizing detail. Another, after watching a World Cup game, she told a story of me ravishing her at center line after scoring the game-winning goal. She'd describe in painstaking detail the goal, I'm talking a couple of minutes, while we were having sex, before she'd talk about any sexy stuff at all. In all honesty, I'd be intrally laughing far more than I'd ever be turned on. You should have replied, "Girl," in a Spanish accent. She should write erotic novels. During a handjob one time, I had my right arm underneath this girl's ass, feeling her up and she blasted me with this humongous fart that was so damn thunderous I instantly lost any ounce of hard I had. Yeah, no, the ladies always find the best times to let rip. Any ounce of hard LMAOOO. EY girl, you lookin' for this quarter pounder? I bled on his face while he was eating me out. To be fair, it was after I miscarried and my period was super erratic, but God, I never wanted to let him down there again. He's been back though. Boy's a trooper. Boy's a ranger. You might like Ali Wong's Netflix specials if you haven't watched them already. Lately I have been ruminating a lot on this one time I hooked up with this dude. And in the middle of kissing I felt the responsibility to stop and say, hey, I should really let you know now before we go any further that I'm on my period. And he was like, oh. Well. Let's make a fucking mess, Ali. To this day, that is the most romantic thing anybody has ever said to me. I think about it when I feel down, and ugly, and no good. All I have to do is remember there was once a man out there that was willing to take out my tampon and replace it with his dick. It made me feel beautiful. Beautiful. There is nothing more empowering and feminist than what that man said that day. That is straight up hashtag I'm with her. I had went down on this random girl I met in her living room one night. She was having a bit of a party and I had told her about how my girlfriend had broken my heart and she said she experimented when she was in the military but had never been with a woman who actually knew what she was doing. So with booze flowing she pulled her pants off and I went to town. She started her period midway and was mortified. I had bloody fingers and she was crying so I did the only thing I could think of and said, no no no. It's okay babe, blood doesn't bother me, and I kicked my fingers once. She felt better and I was too drunk to care. I consider it the cost of doing business in that vagina, they might bleed on you. She told me it was her recently deceased father's bed. Why? Started talking about random subjects that had nothing to do with sex. Yes, I know we should fix that lawnmower soon. I don't care, love me, god damn it. This one, my wife will start talking about the kids and things that need to be done around the house. WTF. Not my partner, but one time we were going at it and the neighbor's kid came out on the porch to play hot cross buns badly on his recorder. Never has it been so hard to come. We had to call it. Taken the condom off when I explicitly told him I wanted to use protection. He was a piece of shit. Thanks for your concern, guys. I'm doing alright now. Smiley face. Jesus Christ, that's like rape in my eyes, that was not the deal, I'm sorry that happened to you. Getting your face farted at while eating ass is one thing. Having some chunky bits come along, that kinda killed it for me. Oh no 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 no. Abort abort abort. Sometimes when you tongue punch the fart box punches back. Tried anal with no lube or anything. I just felt my soul leave my body through my ass. My ex in high school tried that without even asking. I screamed and instantly started crying. Fucking. Same. Fucking same. Dumbass had been asking for weeks and I wasn't into it. Little prick put his littler prick where it didn't belong. I screamed bloody murder and his mom came running to check on me. Was hooking up with my ex, which wasn't an out of the ordinary thing at the time, when I'm balls deep in her and she mentions getting fucked in the parking lot where she works by her new guy mere hours prior. I kept going. I have no self-respect. Neither does she. I wonder if some of his cum got inside of you. Does that mean he fucked you? Bent my dick in half and man did it hurt. She was curious as to what it felt like for me. I'm afraid to ask, but go on. Not my partner but a one-night stand. I was in the middle of giving my tongue a clit workout when she let out a ripping fart. Did you keep going? As a woman, that is honestly one of my biggest fears. She was probably mortified. Unless it was her kink. Passed out. One moment she is moaning and squirming, and the next moment she passed out. I obviously stopped and tried to wake her. After she woke up she told me I should have finished. She can faint when she gets too excited. I just couldn't. Despite her instance that it is normal for her and okay, my brain tells me it is not right to keep going on an unconscious person. You're a good person. Talked about an ex and the sexiest thing the ex did. Said that was the most turned on he had ever been in his life. I was railing this metal chick about 25 years ago and Hallow Be Thy Name came on and she started head banging and singing along. Great song, but the interactive karaoke session wasn't needed. He called me mom. We don't have kids. Daddy is normal but mom isn't. We need more justice for the mommy fetish boys out there. This didn't ruin it for me at all, in fact I thought it was quite funny and peculiar. I was eating her out while she was in all fours. She had an orgasm and accidentally farted right in front of my face. She was extremely embarrassed but I laughed for about 10 minutes non-stop. When I told him that he wasn't inside me when he was fingering me, he decided to cross-examine my vagina like a gynecologist. Talk about awkward. I had a really intelligent, scholarly friend in college. He said that one time he had a girl spread her legs and literally propped up an anatomy textbook next to her to find all the parts. I mean, good thing he was cute. Broke up with me. Mid-dicking. Called me daddy, knocked the fuck out of there. Wanted to use knives while we had sex, where's the window wanted to give me a blowjob while I took a shit, so she could smell it. I'm out. That went from mare to run. Teeth on my dick. I asked her for a blowjob, since the hand job was not doing it for me. So she proceeds to lightly blow on the tip. I thought it was an inspired beginning, but she just literally blew on my member for the next couple of minutes. I stopped her and asked what she was doing. She said that it was a blowjob, so she was blowing on my little guy. It wasn't that crazy since there are boob jobs and hand jobs. Admittedly she was equally skilled at all of the above, so there was no real best option available. I decided I would instruct her on how to give me a proper blowjob. After some direction, she finally put her mouth around it, and I thought everything was going well. She bobbed her head down then up, and proceeded to lacerate my Johnson with her teeth in multiple locations. I assumed that she would know to keep teeth away from sensitive areas, but I was sorely mistaken. I actually had to go to the ER that night because of the damage, but I will save that for a different post. Jesus Christ. I really wanted to feel very sorry for you until I read your username. Went back her place for a drink. We had a drink and she excused herself. She came back dressed to the nines. Black bra, panties, thigh highs, and heels. She climbed on top of me and worked her way down to giving me a blowjob. About 2 minutes into a pretty amazing act, she looked up at me and projectile vomited hitting my face all the way down to my crouch. She basically told me to leave after that. Nothing like Ubering home wearing and smelling like vomit. Getting annoyed and rude when I couldn't instantly get it up. Guys need foreplay too. We were having sex, literally in the middle of fucking, and he whispers in my ear, "We gotta wash the car." Dropped his face sweat on me during missionary. It was just a Tinder hookup and the sex was alright, not bad but not loving it. I noticed he was getting really sweaty, which was understandable, but then his forehead sweat dripped onto my face. Instant mood killer. Quote from porn star Jenna Jameson, who obviously feels the same way. While I was waiting for my first sex scene, my co-star, a gentleman I had never met before named Arnold Biltmore, sat next to me. He had a soft, pasty body, a porous, greasy complexion, and a kindergarten haircut, parted in the middle and combed to either side. Nothing about Arnold Biltmore turned me on. And in 10 minutes I was supposed to have sex with him. When our scene started, he tried to kiss me. I turned my head away from the camera, so that no one could see me grimace. As my head kept bumping into his stomach while I gave him head, all I could think was, what the hell am I doing here? This is disgusting. A bead of sweat on Arnold's forehead swelled and grew until it turned into a bubble, and then slowly pried itself free of his forehead. When it smacked me between the eye, it flipped a switch in my head. I'm done, though. I can't do this anymore. This was actually just before sex, but first time meeting this girl was at her place for over an hour. She was talking how she wanted her wedding to be, literally showing me images of wedding gowns, shoes, etc., basically the whole spiel. I was trying to figure out a way to get out of there. Anyways, later was sitting on her couch. She went to use the restroom, she said. When she returned, she was butt naked and straddled me on the couch, kissing me. My mind was racing with WTF, but quickly overcome with what was going on and went with it. We moved to her room and we continued foreplay. I was going down on her when I came to my senses, thinking that this chick is bonkers and WTF was I doing? I told her I had to go. I put my clothes on so quickly and got the fuck out of there. Never again did we speak. Never regretted this decision. My ex just laid there and looked at me like she was a dead fish and tried to hold in her moans. It was awkward and weird. Like we are having sex. This is the last place you should be prim and proper, for fuck's sake. Edit. We were pretty drunk, and she was blowing me and told me that she wanted it all. She started deep throating. Soon someone was covered with something thick and sticky, me with her puke. To her credit, she gave me a nice hand job after we cleaned up. My GF has done some stuff that makes me feel she doesn't enjoy it as much as I do, like wanting me to skip foreplay just to get to sleep earlier. Riding my cucumber furiously after she orgasmed just to make me come faster and getting mad at me for not coming. Her attitude actually killed it. I felt like a sex toy that needed to be turned off. Once she bit my lips so hard my mouth started to taste like blood, after I tried to kiss her during sex. I can't remember any other right now, but I'm sure there is more. We'll edit if I remember anything else. Find a new girl, man. One time my ex starting throwing up while I was blowing him. He had bad chick filler before coming over, lol. Was titty fucking her. She looked down and said, "Ooh, it's just like a gif." It was hard to keep from laughing or take anything seriously after that. I fucked this guy and he just kept moaning, "Oh my god, you're so tight," over and over and over and over. He gave a good dickling, but I wanted to shove a sock in his mouth. Pussies are tight, brew. Common misconception. One time this girl wouldn't shut the fuck up about her air conditioner. It was loud and would make clunky noises at times. Whenever it would make a noise she'd mention, "It's okay, it's just my air conditioner," and for some reason it just turned me off. Also, one time this girl was giving me head and kept humming. It was the worst blowjob I've ever had. I actually asked her to stop and she said she had to or she would gag. It was just awkward. I was never going to come and she wouldn't quit. I talk too much. I know I get annoying, it's just I get paranoid and constantly ask for consent and such. Like to the point she just tells me to shut up. Made me laugh. Needed 5 minutes to re-establish. Yeah. You like that, you fucking retard. I can't talk that much during sex. I'll moan and get words out, but sentences are tough. It distracts me and makes it hard to concentrate on the sensations. I get too in my head if I have to actually form a whole thought. I've had a couple guys who seemed completely unable to stop asking me questions, trying to get me to talk dirty. "How do you want me to fuck you, baby?" What are you thinking about? What do you think of my cock? Does it feel good? What feels good? Tell me, baby. Shut the fuck up. This isn't 20 questions. Shut up and fuck me already. Wasn't my partner but FWB. She liked anal and when she was riding me, dick in cheeks, shit on me. Used to have pretty rough sex with my ex. I didn't mind his kinky antics at all, like ever, besides this one time he choked me so hard that I literally lost consciousness. He panicked and called 911 so I woke up to a medic in my face while I was naked in bed.